first intern speaker. Is everyone ready? All right, come on, speak in. It was dreadfully cold. It was snowing fast and it was almost dark as evening came on, the last evening of the year. In the cold and the darkness there went along the street a poor little girl, shivering with a bare head and naked feet. When I left home, I had slippers on, it is true. Slippers that were much too large for my feet. They were slippers that my mother had used till then. But then I lost them, and running across the street, when two carriages were passing by terribly fast. When I tried to go look for them, one was not to be found, and a boy seized the other one and ran away with it, saying he would use it for a Credo someday, when he had children of his own. The Little Match Girl by Hans Christian Andersen. So on I went with my bare feet that were red and blue with cold, and an old apron that I wore were bundles of matches, and I carried also a bundle in my hand. No one had bought so much as a bunch all the long day, and no one had given me even a penny. Will you please buy a match from me? No one had bought so much as a bunch all the long day, and no one had given me even a penny. Poor little girl, shivering with cold and hunger, she crept along, a perfect picture of misery. Snowflakes fell on her long flaxen hair, which hung in pretty curls about her throat, but she thought neither of her beauty nor of the cold. It was Lights gleamed in every window, and there came to her the savory smell of roast goose, for it was New Year's Eve. And it was of this of which she thought. In a corner formed by two houses, one of which projected beyond the other, she sat cowering down. She had drawn under her little feet, but still she grew colder and colder. Yet I dared not go home, for I had sold no matches and could not bring even a penny of money. My father would certainly beat me, and besides, it was cold enough at home. We have only the house roof above us, and though those largest holes have been stopped with straw and rags, there are many through which the cold wind could whistle. And now my hands are nearly red and blue with cold. Alas! A single match might do me good, if I might only draw it from the bundle, rub it against the wall, and warm my fingers by it. So at last, she drew one out. Whoosh! How it blazed and burned. It gave out a warm, bright flame like a little candle as she held her hands over it. A wonderful little light it was. It really seemed to me as if I sat before a great iron stove with polished brass feet and brass shovel and tongs. So blessedly it burned that I stretched out my feet to warm them also. But lo, the flame went out, the stove vanished, and nothing was left to me but a little burned match in my hand. I rubbed another match against the wall. Whoosh! And where the light fell upon the wall, it became transparent like a veil, so that I could see through it into the room. A snow-white cloth was spread upon the table, on which there was a beautiful china dinner service, while the roast goose stuffed with apples and prunes steamed famously and sent forth the most savory smell. And what was more delightful still and wonderful, the goose jumped from the dish with knife and fork still on its breast and waddled along the floor straight to me. But then the match went out, and nothing was left to me but the thick, damp wall. I lighted another match. Whoosh! And then I was under a most beautiful Christmas tree, far more larger and far more prettily trimmed than the one I had seen through the glass doors of the rich merchants. Hundreds of green tapers were burning on the green branches, and gay figures, such as she had seen in shop windows, looked down upon her. The child stretched out her hands with them, then the match went out. Still the lights of the Christmas tree rose higher and higher, and she saw them now as stars in heaven, and one of them fell, forming a long trail of fire. As she saw this, she expressed with a sigh, "Now someone is dying." For her grandmother, the only person who had ever loved her and who was now dead, had told her that when a star falls, a soul mounts up to God. She struck yet another match. Whoosh! And there appeared before her the dear old grandmother, bright and radiant, yet sweet and mild, and happy as she had never looked on earth. "Oh, grandmother, take me with you. I know you will go away when the match burns out. You too will vanish like the warm stove, the splendid New Year's feast, and the beautiful Christmas tree." And lest her grandmother should disappear, she rubbed the whole bundle of matches against the wall. Whoosh! And the matches burned with such a brilliant light that it became brighter than noonday. Her grandmother had never looked so grand and beautiful. She took the little girl in her arms and both flew away together, joyously and gloriously, mounting higher and higher, far above the earth. And for them there was neither hunger, nor cold, nor care. They were with God. But in the corner, at the dawn of day, a passer-by noticed the little girl. She was leaning against the wall with red cheeks and smiling mouth, frozen to death on the last evening of the old year. Stiff and cold she sat, with the matches, one bundle of which was burned. She wanted to warm herself, poor little thing. No one had imagined what sweet visions she had had, or how gloriously she had entered upon the joys of a new year. Thank you.